It's nice to be here this morning with all of you. My topic is the world of possibilities. And the only reason why life can appear to be limited is that we have not allowed the divine within us to completely express through us. We all have the awesome subconscious power that we might tend to use unconsciously, unless I'm the only one who does that. I guess so. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. So just imagine what it could be like during restless situations to consciously think about a world of possibilities, to catch ourselves and say, okay, I don't need to go with this fear and anxiety. I can think a new thought. I can actually move in another direction. I have that option. We all have that option. If this applies to you, would you be willing? Is there something that popped up in your mind that you tend to worry about and focus on instead of the infinite possibilities that await you? And I'd say we are all well trained by the news and things like that get hit by whatever it's saying next. So what would the wonderful world be like, all mastering our thinking, if every single one of us are actually mastering our thinking and letting go of what we don't want? Unless I'm the only one who's not doing that. Okay, well then, good. I'm glad I'm not alone. Can you imagine what it would be like if we lived in a world that daily life shows its gratitude, its appreciation and trust? And that's kind of the opposite of what seems to be happening in the world at this moment. There's always, this is wrong and that is wrong and a whole list of other things. But science of mind students, at least we've been trained to think a better thought. There's universal truths. We know that they are. And that they've been true always. And that through you, the love of God, through you, the wisdom of God, through you, the infinite possibilities that are in the wisdom of the universe can come right through us. But it's a matter of us practicing the presence. When we look at the circumstances in our lives, they can seem very dark at times, especially when things are happening in the news and it's pushing those buttons. And it's a huge stone wall blocking our path. But we have to plan ahead of time to think a different thought. Okay, when this one button gets pushed, I'm going to automatically go to something better and catch myself. And it does, slowly but surely, it does matter. And we can think independently of any incidences or circumstances, Dr. Holmes said in the Science of Mind textbook on page 417, if you're wanting to read it yourself. I don't blame you. I like to reread it. The things that this was a good opportunity for me to reread a lot of things before I go, oh my God, I haven't really read the textbook in a long time. So I actually had to find my textbook through a ton of books. I have so many books. So to daily meditate on the perfect life and to embody the great ideal is a royal road to freedom. And why is it a royal road? Because we don't usually practice it. We don't even acknowledge it. And I was just playing a little game with myself. I thought, let's listen to what everybody's saying. Notice if they're, just for a day. And I couldn't believe how much I had around me that was negative. And I thought, okay, I'm going to practice some of the things that Dr. Holmes has said to me. So what percolates your passion and your purpose? Today, we're going to be reviewing and rediscovering how to become a more deliberate creator, activating our purpose and our passion. Because the science of mind, that's what this teaching's about. What you think about, you bring about. We don't say what you think about, you bring about really nasty, awful things. So work really hard to think about all the things you don't want. That's not what this teaching is about. I'm nurturing passion that blends with my divine purpose and my intention, which I am now relanguaging, which I don't have fine-tuned yet, because I think at my age of 25, I realize there are things that are going on in my life that are very different than when I first started as a Science of Mind student when I was 20. I started back then. And I have had wonderful teachers. I've spent a lot of time with Dr. Michael Beckwith. I've spent a lot of time with a lot of great teachers. I feel very blessed. Then I have no excuses. I should be able to, listen to the shoulds, that I can let this go. But I'm not going to have a pretense and tell you that I've got it all mastered. You already know that I don't, because I'm a human being. But what is hidden and unexpressed and unexamined passions for you when you think about it this week? When you go back, just write down one or two, and then look at things that, for me, I don't want to be in judgment of anybody else, including myself. I'm just noticing how many people and me, and how many times I catch myself. I'm kind of putting a little one every time I catch myself thinking something derogatory about somebody else. I go, where'd you get that from? And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm really, really going to take that one out of my subconscious. So I'm delving into finding and cultivating that new passion of a deeper love, a more authentic love, a more transparent love. That part's not my favorite part, because I still have thoughts that I don't welcome. I know that's shocking to you. First cause is creative. It expresses through us. It expresses through you, it expresses through me, and it is a vehicle for the medium of spirit that demonstrates through us, but it doesn't change if we don't change the way we apply it. And that's the area that I'm welcoming, that my purpose is to catch myself in how I apply this teaching and how I apply my communication. I have been a long-time devotee of good communication. Now, why is because I worked in the communication industry. And in fact, when I first started in it, in the entertainment industry, they used to call it the communication industry. And therein lies my biggest, I'm going to use another word. I almost said something I didn't want to say. My biggest complaint about the entertainment industry. It is not, I'm calling it communicative industry. It's not communicative at all. The left doesn't know what the right is doing. The capacity to, and now I haven't been in the industry very recently, so that's not fair to say. I'm sure it's progressed. But during the many years that I was in it, there was no communication. So the blessing is that I became an obsessed person around healthy communication. And I know that there are times when my questions or my capacity to bring up things annoys someone else. And as I looked at it and wanted to stop the annoyance part, but I knew I couldn't do that because I don't mean being rude and deliberately saying something that would hurt someone's feelings. I'm talking about things that need to be talked about in order to change to a positive and an appealing way of living. So my purpose as a Science of Mind teacher and student is to really embody this idea of the science of mind and embody it in a way that I bring about the manifestation of healthier, more loving, more available, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, on every level that I can. Now, I don't have a clue about what I can do. This is a new commitment for me. But I want to bring your attention to that idea because of the challenging times we are living in. And who would agree that we're living in very challenging times? Am I the only one who thinks that? Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I imagine that there are many souls in this world that need greater positive empowerment. They need health, healthy thoughts, healthy thinking, healthy communication, and hope for a world that works for everyone. And I really believe that's a possibility. I don't know that it can happen in my lifetime, but I'm committed to facing where I am, because I can't do anything about anyone else, but I can share with people in an open way if there's availability for it. And one of the things that I'm facing is seeing the greed and the dismissive tendencies of our world and country, and it's not effective at managing our country and the world. And there's considerable conflicts because of a lack of communication, healthy communication. So the science of mind is a teaching that is a world that works for everyone. And that's really what everyone matters. Everyone can make a difference. You are important. All of you are important. And somehow, some way, we can find a healthy collective community energy. And I still believe in the possibility. I believe in you. I know that you like this teaching, or you're here, even if it's the first time you're here. You're here because you believe in a power greater than yourself, and you want to see it work. And it will work, and it can work. And I want to close with a story that, honest to God, and I say that with a little bit of fear, not very much, but I want to tell you this is the absolute truth. I was at a Silomar, and it was my last day and the last time I had to qualify as a minister, as an ordained minister. I finally got to the place. I did all the things I had to do. It's a long road. Most people who have done it know that it's a long road. And Dr. Holmes walks right in front of me. I'm standing, I'm all dressed up. I mean, I was dressed to a T and I was early. So I'm standing on the side of the road up at a Silomar. Who's been to a Silomar? Okay, so if you walk down that road that's right down the middle of it, you could go all the way to the pool. Well, that's where I was staying, right there. And that's right where the meeting was. And I'm standing in my dress, and I'm going, why did you get dressed so soon? You know, you're all ready to go. And who walks before me but Dr. Holmes? And he's right in front of me. And my thoughts were this. He looked exactly like Dr. Holmes. In my head, I thought, looks like Dr. Holmes, not that's Dr. Holmes, wearing one of his very popular flannel shirts. Have you seen Dr. Holmes in a flannel shirt? If you have, he wore a lot of flannel shirts. And he was in a red flannel shirt and a pant, just typical Dr. Holmes. So I knew he had left his body in 1960. This was a long time after that. But I saw him as clearly as I can see you. And I never told anybody. And I even get goosebumps telling you that right now. I just got goosebumps. Because, first of all, I don't know that at the time I really believed it. I had to go over this in my head many times till I finally realized, I think, do you realize that many years have passed and you haven't told one other person, not one, not anybody, that story? And it dawned on me, I go, you're 70. You should, who knows how much longer you're going to be on the planet. I don't know. I'm pretty healthy, thank goodness. But I realized it was time that I shared that story. Because if he would walk in front of me to say something, he can walk in front of you too. I don't know if it'll happen. I never expected it. I certainly wasn't even, I had to go through a process in order for me to realize I am standing on the shoulders of giants. And that's what Dr. Holmes said to me. You are standing on the shoulders of giants. And I just kind of let it go for years and years and years. But I went into that meeting and I aced it. I was determined not to have to do that twice. I just go, it had been a long road, and I had a church already. My church was in Toledo, Ohio, and I was ready to move forward. I didn't know what that meant in terms of getting that, but somehow it was very important to me at the time that I wanted that process over with. So I'm going to close today with this talk about an inspiration that I got from Dr. Holmes. And I'm just going to read it. I know there is a presence and a perfect law drawing everything that makes me happy, my life happy and worthwhile. Nothing but good can come forth from me, from you. The presence and the perfection of God are in me, working as me, and working through me. And if it's working through me, it works through you. There's no one special and unique except that we practice it. I cast out every fear or belief of which is not empowering and exercise the dominion by divine right which belongs to each and every one of us, and I know that freedom and joy is ours now. I am conscious of the infinite wisdom directing me. Whatever I ought to know, I shall know. Whatever I ought to do, I shall do. Whatever belongs to me will come to me. I recognize my good, understand and accept it, and act upon it. Therefore, I declare every step of our way, every step of your way, every step of your way, and every step of my way is guided and guarded with the joy and fulfillment of the Holy Spirit. It is a joy to remind you of that. And it is a joy to be in this teaching. I thank you for being here today. I love you. I really do. Namaste. Oh, my name is Barbara Wally. And I just want you to join together in a knowledge that peace and harmony for the soul of America is ours now. So just affirm with me, I pledge that peace and harmony for the soul of America is ours now. We're going to say it 2 more times. Now, take a deep breath. I promise that peace and harmony for the soul of America is ours now. One more. I promise that peace and harmony for the soul of America and the whole world is ours now. And so it is. Amen. Blessing.